What's up, and good morning, everybody. My name is Corey. Thank you so much for tuning in with me today. Happy Labor Day, everybody. This video is right in the middle of when my kids usually start getting up, so if one of them happens to just like pop in here and run in and interrupt the video, my bad. And if you hear anything in the background, it might be really loud cartoons, so also my bad. But anyway, today's video is just going to be a little bit about some cryptocurrency, XRP and Ripple, and what is going on with the markets around the world. Anyway, let's get into today. A crypto fix for a broken international monetary system. The international monetary system is broken. Helping to fix it poses a huge opportunity for the cryptographers behind cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. This article came out last week. Mark Carney with the European Central Bank came out basically saying if we stopped using the US dollar and started using a cryptocurrency, it would provide liquidity around the world. It would provide a better system with our growing monetary issues, so to speak. And I have definitely noticed a common trend across the board with the news. The Dow Jones has been going crazy, up and down, 500-point swings every single day. It's either the trade war is good and you're getting 350 points up, or he'll call the trade war bad and you're getting a 600 to 800 point dump. So China's taking cautious steps with new tariffs leaving most to December. I think what they're recognizing is that the market is on eggshells, and they're going to have to hold off, because if they don't, consumers are not going to want to spend their money, and Christmas time is going to be coming up, and if nobody spends their money on Christmas and the United States relies on its consumers to spend money, we're going to see ourselves in a pretty serious situation. In light of that, President Trump ordered U.S. firms to ditch China, but many already have, and more are on the way. This is a pretty nerve-wracking thing as well, seeing as how most of our manufacturing and goods are produced in China. I'm not sure that it would be a bad thing that we start producing more things in America. I think that it would be a little bit more expensive, but I think the transition from moving U.S. firms from China to back to the United States would be problematic, especially with just the way that our economy runs right now. This is like not only ditching China, but ditching the reliance on China and how money flows in between our two countries, which is pretty complex. And I actually don't have it right now, but there's a guy on YouTube who explains it very well. His name is Mike Maloney. And he really gets down and dirty with all of the ins and outs of the way money is moving and what these guys are really trying to do in the background. So if you haven't heard him yet, he's really got a great series. So go to Mike Maloney's channel on YouTube and check that out. Continuing around the world, though, you also see Argentina imposes currency controls as its economic crisis deepens. Argentina's been in the news a couple of times. Especially with its recent economic currency collapse. I think this is happening all over the world. This is a global economic debt crisis that we're all going to have to be a part of, and we're just seeing it happen in countries that are less fortunate than us. Third world countries and just not first world nations are having serious problems because of the trade wars and currency wars that are happening with China. But anyway, okay, so what is happening? As you can see, another attachment to this whole, like, maybe there is a recession coming, maybe there is a depression coming, maybe something is happening, a drop in the markets. Well, the biggest way to tell that is gold. So I always like to follow the gold markets a little bit. And you can see here, this article is World Central Banks Want More Gold, off of Bloomberg itself. This is dated April 24th, 2019, so it is a couple months ago. Significantly, though, it's still this year, and you can see in this chart they have here, right around our major economic collapse. That was a worldwide problem that dealt with the sublending markets for housing, and you can see India was one of the leaders in buying gold right here. There was a huge jump during that 2009 crisis, and we can see here again that coming into 2020, India is back again buying gold. So relatively speaking, it is a significant chart to show that there may be problems in the world economic arena. And I got this image from a channel I like to watch. It's the Digital Asset Investor, and if you don't watch the Digital Asset Investor, you got to go over there. It's actually a really entertaining channel, regardless of what we're talking about. But I got this idea and image from him, and it really ties in with a lot of the research that I'm doing. But you can see that this is the history of world reserve currencies over the years, and obviously we wouldn't have known this. I'm 29. I myself, along with a lot of people from my generation, rarely get back to history before the making of the United States, let alone to take the time for ourselves to look back thousands of years or hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years to see where currency came from and how it's evolved over time. We're really just we're focused on our phones and getting the next coffee from Starbucks usually. So who's expecting us to really look back? But you can see in this chart how currencies, or how the dominance of world reserve currencies has changed over time. And you can see that each one has really lasted like between 80 and 110 years at the longest. So we've got Portugal lasting 80 years. Spain had a world reserve currency for 110 years. The Netherlands 80 years. France 95 years. Britain 105 years, up to 1920. And then boom, in comes America. We had a build-up period right here. America has now a world reserve currency for what they're expecting to be 2030. But this came out in June of 2016. I don't think they considered the exponential growth curve and how that affects it. But you can see already there's going to be a global reserve currency in mind. They have a build-up period. I believe this build-up period was Bitcoin. I believe that this build-up period was the 2008-2009 financial crisis when Bitcoin came out. Now we have 10 years on the boards and new technology, and that new technology is Ripple and the XRP algorithm. This is the XRP Daily. XRP Daily is run by Alex Cobb. He's a great source of information all over the board when it comes to XRP. It is the next generation of cryptocurrency. It is what is going to solve the world's economic liquidity problem. And Ripple and the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, will be on stage live at the OECD Global Blockchain Forum 2019, and this September 12th through the 13th is when it's going to happen. So basically the SEC, you can see here in these documents, the Vice President of Global Tax and Chief at Ripple. We've got Head of Global Institutional Markets at Ripple, and we've got Global Head of Banking at Ripple, all coming to the meeting, and it's going to be streamed live. You got to go follow Alex Cobb on YouTube. He's going to be streaming all this live, so you can get a first-hand look at what Ripple's really doing to get their foot in the door and make sure that they are in line with regulations. So behind you, you can probably see my son. He's coming in to say hi to everybody. This is Bo, and he's slowly learning about cryptocurrency, but all in time. Anyway, cryptocurrency is about to be used around the world, and it's not Bitcoin. I hope that you can see from the different tabs that I've been showing you where all of this is kind of moving. But it's definitely showing that we are changing, just like we changed in 1971 with Richard Nixon and we came off the gold standard. Now again we're realizing that change needs to happen, that there's too much debt worldwide. Thanks, buddy. Now that we're noticing that there's a lot of debt worldwide going on, and we're recognizing a need for a switch. There's a need for a switch. I'm sorry, that kind of got a little bit, it interrupted my flow a little bit, but we're going to get back to it. The perks of being a father. I have another one. He might pop in too, but we'll see. Things to look out for. This is you can't change currencies if you don't have a pipeline for them to flow through. You can't have them unavailable. I think that there's going to be a lot of pain from a lot of people when we recognize that digital currencies are going to be the next big thing. People who are not on board with this now are going to they're going to be the last ones there, and by that time it's going to be far too expensive to afford. But right now, watching this, the first thing that's going to really open up the doors for big investors to get their hands in is Bakkt. Bakkt is a company that is launched by the Intercontinental Exchange. They own the NASDAQ. They are going to launch September 23rd. It's going to allow big players to safely, with insurance, hold Bitcoin cold storage on their system. So just like a bank, you won't need to hold it physically. Somebody else will hold it for you, and you have insurance, and you know that it can't go anywhere because they're telling you that. That's the way we've worked, and that's the way we trust. So now they're giving you a trusting system. You can trust the guys at NASDAQ. And I think this is really going to bring around institutional buying. This is going to really bring around that bull run we've been waiting for. And I think that because of this, we're really going to see those commercials all over television. This is when mainstream is going to really start getting into the crypto space. Something that I don't see here, but I do know, is that on September 6th, Bakkt is going to start allowing people to transfer their funds to their system to hold, so that on the 23rd they can begin trading immediately. So I'd love to watch, if you guys are on Twitter, you got to go, it's like Whale Watch on Twitter. They watch all the wallets move, the finances around all the Bitcoin around. So if there's ever a large transaction, it pops up. You can see how the money's moving. Public blockchain ledger. That's all the way around. You can see that with XRP as well. So I'm excited to see how many different transactions are being made and how much money is being moved into the system. I think that's going to be a really good example of like what we're going to see coming. And that's not the only thing. So I brought up this blog right here. These are the things to look out for coming up to the end of the year pretty much. September 23rd, Bakkt is going to officially launch. October 13th, the Securities and Exchange Commission makes the final decision on Bitwise Bitcoin ETFs. October 18th, the SEC rules on whether to pass the VanEck SolidX ETFs, and October 28th is the submission of the final rehabilitation plans for Mt. Gox, which was crazy. 850,000 Bitcoin were stolen in that hack, and they're just trying to figure out ways for people to get their money back, and it's been a constant thing, but they're working on it. They're coming up with a final plan. They're really helping people out here, and it's going to be finalized October 28th. So once that's off the board, once that's off the slate, our slate will be a little bit cleaner, and I think that all of this together is really showing that we're making this currency switch, and that crypto is just going to be the way to go, and it is the hedge against the current financial situation. But it has been a down market, and it has been a trying weeks. It's been some trying weeks. There's been a lot of bad news, and when you have a family and kids, you really got to stay away from all that nonsense, and you really got to get back to yourself, and you got to get healthy and stay happy, because that's just, it's your job to be mindful of what's happening. It's your job to be taking care of your life and getting yourself set for change. So So investing in cryptocurrency so that if there's a financial crisis, you're still able to hold your head above water. And in order to do that, and in order to stay clear, and in order to stay smart and healthy, you guys got to check out mindful.org and learn how to meditate. Honestly, I do it every single day. I do it for 30 minutes every single morning. I use it to basically just get my morning together, to organize my thoughts, to plan out the rest of my day. And what it does is, honestly, it helps just like relieve the stress of the unknown future of the day. Because if I know what I'm doing, if I know what I want to be doing, if I know how to keep myself calm throughout the day, then it really helps to keep my focus towards my kids. It helps keep my focus towards having a good day and being positive throughout it. So that's important in the crypto markets too, because the last thing that you want to do is lead an emotional trading life. And if you're emotional, then you sell when it's dropping and you buy when it's going up, and I've lost money that way. And so be mindful and don't be emotional, and meditate and make some money and get healthy, and see you guys in the next video. All right.